This episode of The Therapy Show is sponsored by Therapy Notes. Why not find out what more than 100,000 mental health professionals already know and try Therapy Notes for 2 months absolutely free? Just click on the link in the show notes or enter promo code LISA at therapynotes.com. Welcome to the Therapy Show podcast. I'm your host, Lisa Mustard. In each episode, I interview a seasoned and knowledgeable talk therapist from the counseling world to glean valuable insights, techniques, and tools that you can apply to your practice and your life. And if you're considering a career in the counseling field or just want to hear about what it's like to be a talk therapist, then this is the podcast for you. Well, hey there. Welcome back to another episode of The Therapy Show. I'm your host, Lisa Mustard, and this week I have an extraordinary guest who has truly mastered the art of blending passion, travel, and a successful profession. So I want y'all to join me in welcoming Kym Tolson to the podcast. It's an honor to have Kym with me on the podcast. She's a therapist turned digital nomad. She has transformed her love for travel into an inspiring lifestyle, living in Airbnbs across the globe. And her journey led her to create her first program, Build Like a Boss, a thriving community empowering insurance-based therapists to elevate their practices. But that's not all. Kym also has created a unique membership community called the Traveling Therapist Membership, where she provides support to therapists who are eager to balance work and travel seamlessly. But here's where it gets even more fascinating because Kym has integrated artificial intelligence, also known as AI, into every aspect of her business, revolutionizing the way she works and interacts with her clients. And this exciting development for her practice gave birth to her newest venture, the Clinical AI Club, a platform dedicated to exploring the potential of AI in enhancing therapeutic practices. And throughout this episode, we'll dive into Kym's journey, her insights on the power of AI in private practice, and how you too can embrace your dreams and make a positive impact no matter where in the world you are. And if you want to learn more about Kym and her amazing ventures, be sure to check out Build Like a Boss, the Traveling Therapist Membership, and the Clinical AI Club. So for all the links and details, be sure to head to the show notes. All right, let's buckle up and get ready to embark on this incredible adventure with Kym Tolson. Before we dive into this episode with Kym, I want to let you know that you can get all of my pod courses for $30. That's right, that's 15 contact hours for $30. And if you purchase the bundle at this price, any future pod courses will be added to that bundle at no extra cost to you. However, this price won't last forever, so I encourage you to go ahead and purchase all the pod courses today. So click the link in the show notes or head to lisamustard.com/pod courses and grab the bundle. I am planning for more pod courses this fall, so hurry up and get the deal ASAP. Well, hey, friends, welcome back to another episode of the podcast. I am thrilled to have my friend Kym Tolson here on the show once again. Welcome back, Kym. It's so great to see you.
I'm so excited. I love to come and see you. I think this is like the third time
I think
to
so
come
too.
and just talk about all the stuff that we both have going on. I love catching up with you. So thanks for inviting me again.
Oh yeah, I feel like every time I turn around, you have something new going on. And
I
so
know.
since you were last on the show, you have started a membership for traveling therapists, right?
Yes. Yes.
And also, well, you definitely have Built Like a Boss. That's still there. That's still out
Yep.
there. And now you are doing something really cool with AI. So can you tell our listeners what you're doing with AI and how you're helping therapists?
Yeah. So a little bit about me is like if I like something or find it helpful, I get obsessed with it. And then with my entrepreneurial brain, I'm like, okay, now I have to tell the whole world about this thing that I'm obsessed with that I'm finding like amazing. So I would say probably about a year and a half ago, I really started getting into AI, like artificial intelligence, just trying out all these different programs that were coming out. Jasper was the one I was using a lot. And then, back in November, Chat GPT came out. And that was like, I mean, I hate to use this cliche word like game changer, but Chat GPT was like 1,000 times better than all the other ones. And I started realizing the potential that it had to help clinicians in private practice, because I started using it for writing my progress notes and like treatment plans. I hate treatment plans. I hate
Yeah.
trying to come up with like, measurable objectives and trying to make it unique to the client. So I started using it for that. And then of course, I've already got sort of this built-in audience for my other products. So people are asking questions in my Facebook groups about like, what do you guys do for progress notes? And I'm like, well, here's what I do, and I'm like, and it's amazing. And then I'm like, okay, I have to write a course about this. And then I get obsessed and I can't sleep. And it's like all I do is work on this project. So that's how it came about, this
Yeah.
using AI with private practice and just generally in my entire life, really. I'm using it like I go to ChatGPT like 10 times a day for traveling or recipes or clinical stuff, or, just helping me in my business in general with the social media and writing email sequences and all that stuff.
Yeah, so I'm super curious about yeah, and about using AI clinically for notes. I think that's really something to help us as therapists, like, cut out some administrative time, which I know we're all looking to do because we can just get ourselves backed up. We get so caught up
Yeah,
in like actually doing the work. We need to write our notes, we need to write the treatment plans, and it's like one more thing you got to do that you're like, oh. And
yeah,
I totally get what you mean about making it unique. So how Okay, so first of all, let's talk about the ethics because I know there's a
yes.
lot of questions about is this ethical? What type of information are you putting in there about your client? How does that all work in the AI system? Like, so where would you start with that?
So first, I would say there are some HIPAA compliant programs out there that you can pay for that are
Mhm.
like, I think they range from like $20 to $80 a month to help you write HIPAA compliant notes where you can protect all of your client information. And
Okay.
then there are these free platforms. There's ChatGPT, there's Google Bard, there's Claude 2. There's all these free programs that you can use. Even if you go to Google Labs, you can enhance your Google Notes and your Google Docs to have AI enabled access in there. So the big thing that you really want to pay attention to is you never want to put PHI
Mhm.
into any of these programs, because they do say that they protect the information, and there's settings you can sort of put in there to tell it not to remember what you're writing. You can delete the notes, but nobody really knows.
Right.
Nobody knows. So if you were to read your note back and think, okay, could anybody figure out who this client was from reading this, then don't put it into the public free AI programs,
Right.
is basically my advice.
Okay.
Um, the course I wrote, I go through like, what is PHI? There's like 20 things that are really considered PHI. So you would never want to put any of that stuff. But what I do is I do concurrent notes with my client in session. I'll be typing, they can't see me typing, but I'll be just taking like really brief notes.
Mhm.
I copy that. I go over to ChatGPT. I put it in. I tell it to write a SOAP note from a clinician's perspective, an EMDR clinician's perspective,
Mhm.
and it spits out this note for me, based on like maybe 3 sentences. Client broke her foot, clients going to the gym more, clients doing this
Right.
very, very broad stuff. And it puts it in a SOAP format for me, which, does meet medical necessity for the insurance companies if you're an insurance-based provider. And I just copy it. I go put it back in my EHR, and I just like sort of like make it a little more specific for that client, and I'm done. And it takes
Man.
me about a minute to do that after my session.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so cool. Okay, well, thanks for that tip. I'm gonna check it out on ChatGPT
Yes.
because I do use it too, mainly for business stuff, and I never really thought to use it for recipes. I like how you are using it for all kinds of things. That's really neat. I guess I
Do
could
you
use
want
it
to?
for all
I
kinds
was
of.
gonna. I was
Go
gonna
ahead.
say, do you want a recipe tip?
Yeah.
So if you have the paid version of ChatGPT, there's a way that you can enable plugins.
Mm-hmm.
So you can enable the Instacart plugin inside of ChatGPT. You can connect it if you have Instacart.
Mm-hmm.
I travel, I move from place to place, so we use Instacart a lot, like for our next place to have our groceries delivered. So I could tell ChatGPT to make me a menu for 5 days with gluten-free, dairy-free recipes, because I have celiac disease, so I'm gluten-free, dairy-free. It makes a menu for me, and then I tell it to make it into a shopping list, and
No
then I
way.
tell it to make it for 4 people, servings for 4 people, and then I tell it to upload the cart to Instagram or to Instacart. And it just goes over and uploads it, and then it's all in your Instacart cart already with the
Mhm.
right serving sizes, and then you just hit like order,
Oh
and it
my
delivers it
gosh.
to you.
That's amazing. Oh my gosh, the things that it can do.
I
Wow. So that's
know.
the paid version. Okay. I've been actually a friend of mine, he's in digital marketing and online business, and he was like, you've got to get the paid version of Chat
Yeah.
GPT. He swears it's the best. He's used all of them too. So he really
Mhm.
feels like that's the best one. And that's not the one you are you still using the Jasper?
I I really haven't used Jasper much. I
Yeah.
paid like for an annual plan, so I have it, but
Mhm.
I honestly I never go over there anymore because
Yeah.
ChatGPT is a lot better in my opinion. Mhm.
Yeah, that's kind of what his thoughts are too. Because we were talking about Jasper and ChatGPT. I remember you telling me that you used it, so I was checking it out, and yeah, so it's pretty wild. I mean, it's like in some ways I feel kind of guilty for having such a shortcut in my life. Like
I
it's weird
know.
because I'm so used to doing it the long way or the quote unquote I say hard way, but that's I don't know. It's are things gonna, for up and coming therapists and for, I mean, just overall in general, like, I don't know. I just worry about them. It's almost like they're missing a research step in their world or like a step of
Yes.
like how to do it without technology. Does that make sense? Like, I don't know. It's just
Yeah,
so
no, I
bizarre.
totally get it. Like
Mhm.
every time I write a blog post with it
Yeah.
and it takes like 5 minutes, I'm like, it cannot be this easy
Yeah.
to do this. So I understand what you mean. Even the treatment plans, it's like, and I always tell people, like, yes, we're going to use it to write a treatment plan, but we also want to use our clinical judgment,
Right.
of course, our
Right.
clinical training to review this and make sure it's accurate. But it's getting so good, it's a little creepy because it's like, oh, I never would have thought of that intervention, or
Right.
it'll say, it'll put an objective like journal this many times a week or whatever, and I'll say, well, this client doesn't like to journal. This client is super like intellectualized. What are some better interventions for them or better objectives for them to
Hmm.
follow for this treatment plan? And it'll edit it, and it's like, okay, yeah, that would have taken me like going through the internet, like maybe downloading some, book from Amazon and reading through and trying to learn all this stuff. But in 2 seconds, it just came up with this perfect treatment plan for my client, you
Right.
know? So it
Yeah.
is a little scary
Yeah.
in a
So
way.
yeah, I'm kind of in awe of it, and I'm cautious at the same time.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, I definitely see the pros because it is going to save so much time. But
Hmm.
like you said, time plus using our clinical skills to the best that we can and not relying on just, like you said, because if you have a client that
Yeah.
doesn't want to journal, then what good is it? It doesn't help you.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so you have a course, right? Revolutionize your practice with AI. So is that right? That's the name of it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So what's in that course? Like, what do you get in that course?
So the course is the progress note thing I was talking about, but a
Mhm.
lot more in depth. And I put a ton of prompts in there on how to like really tweak these progress notes.
Mhm.
Also, since I'm an insurance-based provider, I have a whole section in there about how to go get the documentation requirements from the insurance companies, how to plug it into Chat GPT to program it to think like that insurance company would want you to think. And then you can use templates that I've created in the course to sort of plug them in and have the notes and assessments and treatment plans come out according to medical necessity based on what the insurance companies want you to do. So I've
Wow.
got that in there. I've got a whole module on how to create homework assignments that meet medical necessity to show client progress and
Mhm.
how to do it like in 2 seconds. So put in the information about the client and then tell it what you're looking for. And it creates like these worksheets for you.
Wow.
Um,
Wow.
what else do I have in there? Treatment plans, like really like comprehensive prompts to use to get the exact treatment plan that you want for different problems and issues that are coming up. Of course, there's a whole section on ethics, and I'm trying really hard to stay on top of that because I'm sort of waiting for our boards to issue some statements around using AI in our private practices. So, kind of keeping my eye on that, but also
Right.
encouraging other people to check your own boards to see if they've released any statements about that. Um,
Yeah. That's a
Yeah,
really
so
good
that's
point.
the
Mhm.
course. Yeah, the course is just about really documentation. And then that prompted me to come up with this clinical AI club because I'm learning now that you can basically, there's so much you can do to make your private practice just in general run more smoothly. So that's like marketing, that's writing your social media profiles, that's creating autoresponder emails to regular things that you get questions about, using it for all that stuff to just really, I don't know, I hate to use the word streamline, but just make things work a lot easier in your practice. So it's basically on autopilot, and you've got AI kind of like your personal assistant in your back pocket that's just making all the stuff happen a lot quicker for you, and systemizing your processes. So
Right.
you can just like see your clients and be done,
Right.
because it's like, yeah, we see our clients and then we've got like 10 hours of administrative crap that we have to deal with.
Right. Yeah, especially for
Um,
the solo practitioner private practice. It's just that person. I mean, this is going to save so much time. So, okay, I love this clinical AI club. I think I might have to join it. So you're doing other things besides just notes and clinical documentation. You're doing other things. Marketing, it sounds like promotional
yeah,
content.
marketing,
Mhm.
social media. Let's say you decide that you want to run a DBT group
Mhm.
for 10 weeks, right? So, I'm going to do a whole month just on this, but you can go in, you can ask whatever AI program you're using. I want it to be DBT specific. I want it to be over 10 weeks. I want it to cover these topics. We're going to have 10 people in the group. I needed to have worksheets, handouts, blah, blah, blah. And then you just instruct it to do this, and it creates it for you in about like 5 minutes. And you have you have a group therapy program at your disposal right there, based on what kind of clinician you are, or your specialties, or whatever you want the group to be about. There's so many ways to use it. So
Mhm.
things like that, ideas that people might spend months trying to develop for their private practices. Interview questions. Let's say I want to start hiring interns. How am I going to do that? What do I even ask them? How do
Mhm.
I write a policy and procedure module for that, or handbook for that? So you could literally do all of this with AI very quickly. So the clinical AI club, my vision is once a month I'm going to have like a co-working group where we all get together and we talk about, what are you struggling with? Here's how we can make that better using AI. But then I'm also going to have like a training module each month based on a theme, whatever the theme is I decide that month, or what the audience, in the group is kind of asking for or looking for. And then I'm going to also deliver like 10 really helpful prompts around the theme of the month to help people just like plug and play, sort of like, oh, let me take Kym's prompts and go put them into AI. And then just, it makes it super easy for you. So you don't even have to think about that part. Like, what prompt do I use?
Try Therapy Notes, the #1 rated electronic health record system available today. With live telephone support 7 days a week, it's clear why Therapy Notes is rated 4.9 out of 5 stars on trustpilot.com and Google. Therapy Notes makes billing, scheduling, note taking, and telehealth incredibly easy. And now, for all you prescribers out there, Therapy Notes is proudly introducing ePrescribe. And if you're coming from another electronic health record, Therapy Notes makes the transition quite simple, importing your demographic data free of charge so you can get going right away. So why not find out what more than 100,000 mental health professionals already know and try Therapy Notes for 2 months absolutely free. Just click on the link in the show notes or enter the promo code Lisa at therapynotes.com. Try it today with no strings attached and see why everyone is switching to Therapy Notes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it because I think half of the struggle is figuring out the prompts and I find myself like looking up prompts for AI all the time and I've come up
Yes.
with I mean it's fascinating what you can do and what it will spit out. Like I mean, I'll be honest with you guys. Like, I was struggling with like a topic for one of my podcasts, so I just asked Chat GPT, like it's the prompt I use, and it gave me all these ideas, and I was like, oh my gosh. And
Yes.
you can even ask it to write a script for your podcast. That's crazy.
You can. You
That's
can.
crazy to me. And of course, it's not perfect, but it was an outline. It got me moving, and I thought that was
Yeah.
really cool. Um, Yeah, so maybe I should start my own club for a podcast.
You
Podcast
should.
scripts, that would be something.
There's so
Oh,
much you could do. You know what
yeah.
I do too is after I do one of my podcast episodes,
Mhm.
I'll take the recording, I put it into Descript, right?
Mhm.
I don't know if you guys have heard of Descript, but it basically transcribes your videos for you really quickly. I'll take the transcription, I'll put it in ChatGPT, and I'll say, okay, so write a summary of what this episode was about. Give me 3 key points and an SEO enhanced title that I could use, when I put this on
Mhm.
my website for my podcast. And it just spits it right out for me. And then I'm done. I
Yeah.
used to spend a long time, like after my episodes, I'd think about, all right, what do we talk about? All
Mhm.
right, let me summarize. What are the key points? Like it would take me a long time to think about that stuff, but not anymore. It's just like
Yeah.
it does it for you,
I
you
know.
know?
It is
Yeah.
pretty wild. And there are some programs out there like there's one called Swell.ai. Are
Oh,
you familiar with that? Yeah,
uh-uh.
so maybe check that out. You can get a free trial, but that's what it does. Like you upload your audio and it will spit out so it'll spit out
Oh,
like summaries, it'll spit out blog posts, ideas, social media posts. I think it even gives you full transcript. I mean, and then there's other things that it does as well, but I
so cool.
it's really wild. So there's Swell AI. There's also, is it Memento.ai or something like that, where it'll create video clips for you. So that's
Oh.
another one. Yeah. I mean, it's like for content creators and course creators, and it's just such a time saver. And
Mhm.
it just, I mean, it's crazy. It's just, I mean, of course, you have to be careful. You have to know, is it giving you the right information, and you have to, like, I asked it further one time, but I'm using the free version. I don't know if it's need to upgrade, but I don't know if it'll give you actual references. So it gave me some information. I said, okay, now can I have the references for this information? And it's told me it couldn't pull that up, being what
Oh,
it is. But because I was like, I don't know what this study is. Like, where'd you get that study, Chat GPT? Like, I want to see,
yeah.
but it wasn't able to pull it up. So I thought that's kind of interesting. So where are they getting this
Those
information from? I guess it's
those
just,
are those are some of the cons that people really talk about because what AI does, it's called like data scraping
yeah.
is like a term that you'll hear a lot with that. And it's just what you're saying, like
Mhm.
it'll say, oh, the research shows blah, blah, blah. But it could be that they pulled it from like 15 different, even chats that people have put in their own chats. We don't know where that stuff's
Right.
coming from,
Right.
and sometimes it'll say, oh, I pulled it from this website, but like the free version only goes back before September 2021. So that's as late as it can go right now with Chat GPT anyway.
Mhm.
But with the paid version, well, they took it away to perfect it, but they did for a little bit have like a Bing um, plugin
Mhm.
where it would go search Bing and then find research studies for you. Because
Okay.
that's another thing I want to do in the clinical AI club is have a month where we're talking about like how do I research using AI and then plug that into my treatment protocols and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Um,
Makes
they did
sense.
take away the Bing, but they right now they have a plugin with the free version that's like called Link Reader, where you can tell it to go read links of certain websites, like and tell it to summarize the whole website and give you just the gist of what it said, and then plug that into whatever content you're trying to write right then.
Okay, and
Yeah,
that's called Link Reader. Is that what you said?
Link Reader. Yeah,
Okay.
it's on the paid version under plugins.
Okay, but so it's a paid plugin. Gotcha. Okay, I
Well,
thought you
the
said
the plugin's not paid, but it's part of the paid version. So you have to have the paid version to be able to use the
yeah.
plugins. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, because that's I just need to go ahead and bite the bullet and pony up. I just keep forgetting to do it. I'm like, I guess you get busy and you're like, oh yeah, I need to sign up. But I
Oh
am gonna
yeah.
do that soon because it's just such a time saver. And
I know.
yeah, well, gosh, okay, so I know you've got all the stuff going on. So if they want to come get the course, we'll put the link in the show notes for that. And if they want to
Okay.
join the club, they can definitely click the link in the show notes. And you have a freebie that I just got not too long ago that you're offering. What's that called?
Yes, it's mastering AI prompts
That's what
for
it is.
effective use. Yeah, so it just like Lisa was saying before, what the hardest part really is figuring out the right prompts to put into
Hmm.
these things to get the output that you want. So I created this document that basically walks you through how to make really great prompts to help you
Hmm.
get the outcome you desire.
Yeah.
So Yeah,
Well,
I'll give you that link too.
so, all right. Thank you so much for telling us all about this AI. It's just blown my mind. And you're such a go-getter. I love that you have this idea. And then next thing I know, you're like, okay, I have a course and I have a club. Like I got the text. I'm like, what? Like, what is going on with this woman? How does she do it? So, other things that you're
Uh,
doing,
yeah.
also just let everybody know a little bit more about other things that you do. Cause I just
Okay.
fascinated by you, your
Thank
energy
you.
for it. Yeah.
No, I need to stop because it's too much. This last thing, I was like, this AI thing, I was like, I have to do this. But other than that, I just really need to take a break with all of it because I do have so I have three memberships, as Lisa was talking about. Bill like a boss. I help
Mhm.
insurance-based providers learn how to bill insurance on their own. It's a membership where myself and two billers, we're in there every single day helping people. We have a live meeting once a week where you can come in and ask us questions. But we also have tons of trainings in our training vault, and my entire DIY mental health billing course is in there. So you get access to all of that for Bill Like a Boss. And then I just started a traveling therapist membership. Uh, Part of my story is I'm a digital nomad. So my boyfriend and I, we just live in Airbnbs and we travel from place to place. Right now we're in Rapid City, South Dakota for a week, and we're just, all over the place. So we live in Airbnbs, but part of that was learning how to become a traveling therapist and take my practice online. And of course, when I like something, I have to put it out there to the world. So I made a membership to help other therapists learn how to do the same thing. And every month we have experts that come in. We have alternative stuff. Like we had yoga on Monday. We had a tarot card reader one week, so we have some cool little things in there too, aside from just the educational piece. And then the Clinical AI Club.
Yeah.
This is launching this coming week, which is mid-July right now. And I'm super excited about it. It's going to be $9 a month. So it's really
Wow.
affordable.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Uh,
I love it. $9. I mean, I can definitely, I'm not afraid to part with $9 a month to get
yeah.
this information. And it's interesting to me. I'm seeing a lot of $9 offers out there these days. Or did you notice that, or
Yeah.
did you just decide to like put it at $9?
Well, it's interesting. I have a coach who I
Mhm.
love. She's amazing. She helps me so much, but she has a AI, she calls it the AI Club. She's changing the name right now for $9 a month.
Mhm.
And it's so successful. I'm a member of that. So she and I were talking about like, I was like, I'm using it for all my clinical stuff. And we're like, yeah, we just need to do the same kind of club model for therapists, that she's doing. And hers is $9 a month. So I thought that was genius and super affordable. And, it just lets people have access. It gives me a little extra income and lets me spread all my knowledge, but also lets people like find this really affordable resource that's going to help them so much. So
Yeah,
yeah.
that's awesome. Well, I'm gonna join. You'll see me in there, and
Okay.
we will put all the links in the show notes, you guys, if you want to come join. Well, Kim, I mean, gosh, thanks so much for hopping on and in
You're
between all your
welcome.
travels. It's so good to see you. And you guys be
You
sure to check out the
too.
YouTube video so you can actually see Kim. And I know that that's a virtual background. I'm guessing, right? That's not
Yeah.
Airbnb.
Yeah. This
Okay.
isn't my Airbnb.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thanks so much. Is there anything else you want to let everybody know before we
I
go?
don't think so. I think that's it. Thanks for having me on. I really
Oh yeah.
appreciate it.
Sure
Yeah.
thing. Anytime. Always enjoy. So good to see you. The Therapy Show with Lisa Mustard is edited and engineered by Chelsea Weaver. If you're looking to start a podcast or ready to take the editing off of your plate, be sure to visit chelseaweaverpodcasting.com. Well, that wraps up another episode of The Therapy Show with Lisa Mustard. I know there are hundreds of thousands of podcasts out there, and I'm thankful you've chosen to listen to mine.
Be sure to visit lisamustard.com to access the show notes and discover more fantastic content.
And I'd be grateful if you subscribe to the show. Thank you.